Is it possible that the Murcielago is still that popular? Or should I say popular again? I really want to say thank you for you guys liking and watching my previous video when I talked about my Murcielago 2026 project. I did not expect that there would be so much interest in the car. Obviously, I love the Murcielago, and so do you, and I'm really happy about this. So I just want to give you an update what happened. So in the last video I basically told you about the idea that I want to build a brand new Murcielago, or at least, you know, we scanned the chassis, and then I spoke a little bit about making a carbon fiber monocoque. So right now everything, stage one happened. We went to Saul, shout out to you, and thank you so much for letting us 3D scan your Murcielago chassis. Quick recap, he had a Murcielago chassis without body panels. Most people have one with body panels. He had really the bare chassis. We did a 3D scan, so let's switch directly back to this. I'm going to show you right now the result of the 3D scan, and I'm going to let you know what the next steps are, what we're going to do. So first of all, let's have a look at it. Let's move it around a bit. It's very nice, so we can clearly see we have basically the bare chassis here of the Murcielago. So here's the front, the rear, the center is here as well, and looks pretty nice, right? So let's just inspect this a little bit, because I didn't know in what condition the chassis was, right? So that's a very good chance now. The next step before we do anything, before we go into any design or into any cleanup of the scan, I'm going to talk a little bit more about what this scan actually is at the moment. Let's first inspect this. Okay, let's have a look here in the center. So it seems like quite interesting. From this side and from this side, it looks a little bit different. So we're obviously going to make a center console for the car. Stage one, we're not going to make too much new designs, but please let me know if you have any ideas for anything I'm talking about here today. If you think, oh, this one you guys should change, right? So, but I'm looking at it from a symmetric point of view, right? So from this side, the center console looks like this. From that side, the center console looks like that. So it's interesting. Do we need to change it or not? Since we're going to make the center console, obviously we can adopt it, but I want to keep it as original as possible so that people in best case can even use their original parts later on. So should we do this center console like this? Let's ask Sol, see what he says.
So for this one, the scan is correct. It does have like a little offset and obviously a little hole, but that's just, obviously it can be filled, but it is like that. See how it's smooth on this side? But I mean, that can be changed, because if this is how the Mercy is set up. If you keep the same, obviously transmission tunnel there, that won't change. So should be the same. We might modify it when we put our Cayman, but for a stock car, that's what it looks like.
Then on the front, I noticed here on this side, have a look, it looks quite strange. I spoke to Saul and he said, yeah, indeed, the left side, right side looks different. It's not supposed to happen. So probably, he also didn't know exactly, but he said probably there was an accident with the car, which is no problem for us, because since we have the 3D scan now, later when we go into the next stage of designing, we can just assume that this is symmetric. So we can take the good side and then redesign the same way on the other side. I asked Saul, here's what he had to say.
Yeah, this side got hit. We're gonna repair the tubes here, but it's supposed to mirror this side. This side is how it should be intact.
Okay, so in that case, we can just assume that everything is symmetric, and since we have the data in the computer, we're using the CAD design, we can just mirror the good side, and then we have a good opposite side as well. Let's look at the back. Here something seems to be missing. Then we compared with the photos, the videos that we took before. So it seems like maybe there was some error on the scan. But again, luckily, assuming that everything is not only symmetric, but internally also consistent, we can just connect the left area that we have with the right area. But then just a little bit below that, there is something interesting. So there's this one rod looking out, but there's nothing on the other side. So just double check with Saul, do we actually need this? Here's what he said.
Yes, correct. On this side, it's probably came off from, you know, when they towed it, it's broken. So it should be like this side that's kind of built in, like a bar that's extended.
So now we know, all right, the rod has to be there on the other side as well. Thanks, Sal, for letting us know. So in that case, again, the same thing, the law of the symmetric design, right? We just mirror this, the whole thing there. And the last thing I asked Saul was, there's all these little things going on. There's like a little small brackets. What are these for, you know? And that's what he had to say.
Maybe to answer the other stuff, these brackets are just like, you know, loose. They're like brackets, I guess, for the side skirts, but you can model it without brackets.
Thanks a lot. So I think for us in stage one, we will, obviously we will keep the data for these brackets, but we will not neglect these, but these are not directly required for the chassis itself. We might design these later on when it comes to the point of attaching the bumpers to the chassis, right? Thanks a lot, Saul. So Saul, again, shout out to you. Thanks for not only letting us 3D scan this thing, but also for giving us feedback on the 3D scan now and what's going to happen next. So now we have the 3D scan in the computer, and a lot of you that watched my videos before, you know already I talked about this a lot, but I just want to make sure, yeah? 3D scanning nowadays, it's nothing special anymore. In fact, even our iPhones already have a LiDAR sensor inside that can very rudimentary take 3D scans. It's not good right now, the quality, but it's getting better and better, right? But even if the quality later of the iPhone 3D scan is super good, there's still a lot of afterwork, because what happens when you do a 3D scan, you're basically shooting out a lot of dots. Yeah, so from far away, if you look at the file, you see all these dots, and because there are so many of them, it looks like there's a surface. But if you consider these are millions of dots and there's like ever so tiny space between each dot, what would happen if you pour water over these dots? Water would go right through, right? So right now what we have to do is, in engineering we call it surface reconstruction. So we take the 3D scan, and these points are obviously going to help us to reconstruct all these surfaces, right? And this is where the real work starts. This is where the expensive work really starts. I just want to make sure, for those of you who love 3D scanning, just be aware, 3D scanner or 3D scanning is not enough. It just gives you the first step, and after that there is so much detailed engineering work necessary in the office when you reconstruct all the surfaces, and after that even change the design. So I think that's gonna be the step that we're gonna do now in the next couple of days. I hope within the next 7 days we're gonna be able to do a full surface reconstruction of this Murciélago chassis. And then the next step after that will be to start thinking about what are we gonna change. Obviously I want to make a carbon fiber monocoque. I know you guys as excited as me, and I spoke to a lot of guys and girls in the past few days. I think we're really on the right path here. There really seems to be a lot of interest for the Murciélago. The Murciélago has been always a beloved car. It is coming back right now and making this kind of, I don't want to call it Restomod project, but it basically is. I think in English you call it Restomod project, right? It's really something that is not only touches my own passion, my own heart, but it also, there's a lot of you guys who are very interested in that, not only for watching it out of interest, out of love for the Lamborghini Murciélago, because I guess it was the last real Lamborghini that really still sort of belonged to Lamborghini company before Audi took over, but also for those of you that are interested that have currently a Murciélago engine and gearbox lying around, or maybe even an actual Murciélago that you want to improve. So thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned, and I'll see you in the next video, the DMC Live. 9, oder?